Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. Mark Anthony, you can be jamming over
Can I
there.
jam?
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. Today, I have a very special guest, Mark Anthony Storm, over there in his truck. How are you, Mark Anthony?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you, Kim.
Good,
Glad to
good.
be
I know
here.
you got to say the whole word, Mark Anthony Storm.
Yeah, Mark Anthony Storm. Other people say Storm Chasers or Follow the Storm, but Mark Anthony Storm, yeah.
And your shirt says Diesel Smoke Matter.
Matters. Yes, diesel smoke matters.
Yes, Diesel Smoke Matters. We're going to have a good time today here on the Kim Jacobs Show. I meant to say one thing. Wait a minute, let me pull this up right quick because I think it's important for me to let my other audience know too, which I don't always tell them. And then I realize my children are like, Mom, you have to do this. I'm like, okay, I'll get better. But sure, let me do one thing here. See if I can.
Let me
I
make
don't
sure I'm
even.
turning off all my devices.
You said there were what?
I turn off my devices so I don't have things ringing. People are like,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah,
it's
right
going."
now is the time for you on my Facebook page
Hmm.
to share it to your friends and family as well. That
Okay.
way everybody gets a chance. So as you guys are coming into the studio right now, go ahead and take a moment and share this broadcast with your friends, your family, your coworkers. Let people know that the Kim Jacobs Show is on the air. And this gives you an opportunity to let people hear this man's unique story. It is a story to be told. So I'm giving you guys a minute to invite your friends, tag them, let them know that Mark Anthony Storm is here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we're going to, yeah, I don't know
How
what
do
I'm doing either.
how do
So,
I get them to do it on Facebook? How do I tell them on Facebook? Like, is there
so
a link?
on my page, on
Uh-huh.
my Facebook page, Kim Jacobs, just share it to your
Okay.
page.
Okay.
I'll see when you share it. And
Okay.
everyone else, while you guys are coming in, make sure you go ahead and tag your friends and share it as well. And we're going to get ready for the ride of a lifetime. We're going to have a good time. All right. You shared it?
And just about there we are. Interesting. See more live videos. Now I gotta figure out how to share. Come
You
on,
know
come
what?
on.
I'm going to keep on talking while you're sharing it over there. We're going to
Hmm.
go ahead and I'm going to introduce you because everybody needs to know who you are. And we're going to get started. Type your comments, your questions. We're talking today about the trucking industry in particular. This man, I can hear your thing. Uh, we
Shifty group.
actually, we actually did some research, and I was looking at the Strong Group. It says that as of October 2019, you know that 3.5 million people are truckers employed by trucking companies. And I thought that was pretty astounding rates. I didn't know that. And a total of 8 million or more, exceeding 8 million or more, are actually working in the trucking industry. They may not be working directly for a specific trucking company. And that's a statistics from a strong group. And I was like, whoa, that was pretty alarming statistic. But my guest today is Mark Anthony Storm. He's a YouTuber. If you have not seen his YouTube channel yet, I'd be surprised, but he has over 8,000 or so subscribers to his Mark Anthony Storm YouTube channel. He's a trucker, transformed from and converted from Wall Street, and we'll talk more about that. He's also a father to Alistair, and that is definitely the love of his life.
Yes, it is.
Alistair's daddy
Yeah.
is who this is, and he's a photographer, and I think he just has a knack for photography. So we'll talk more about that as well. This trucker has survived some things that he'll take you on a journey and share with you. But welcome, Mark Anthony Storm, to the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here. I just want everyone to know I met Kim face to face about a month or so ago, and I've actually known about her show and known about her for some time. And I had been trying to reach out to her for a while. I had her phone number like in my bag, and had never been able to get in touch with her. I kept telling myself I'm gonna go give her a call, and then I ended up running right into her in a restaurant in Charlotte, and it was she's just as beautiful and compelling, in person. I mean, she has a really nice personality. It's unique when you find people that are that way, and so here I am putting the spotlight on you.
Oh no, I'm like, oh my God.
This is not a show about Kim, it's about you, Mark.
I wasn't expecting that. I was like, huh? Yes, I definitely am glad that we encountered and crossed paths, and I obviously send a great shout out to Natalia for making that happen, and absolutely love her as
Yeah.
well. So thank you, Natalia. I
A
appreciate
special thank you to my Natalia's my fiance, and Natalia was the one that put me in touch with Kim, and it was that we're gonna just give a really quick on Natalia, and that is that she's a server at the Bonefish Grill restaurant. We're not really giving them the shout out, but she's a server there. But honestly, hands down to me, Natalia has been the best server I've ever seen, in my life. She knows the menu like the back of her hand, and she makes everyone, feel, just, right at home and welcome and even loved. It's kind of weird, but she just has this aura that makes you feel, that someone loves you when she's, giving you, you're bringing you your food, your whatever you ordered, your drink, and she's just she's an amazing person, and
it.
I'm lucky. I'm a very fortunate man to have Natalia in my life.
Oh, I see. I stayed silent. I didn't interrupt you, so you can give all your kudos and shout out to Natalia. Natalia, you can pay me later. And brownie points to the highest. She is definitely a wonderful jewel, and she makes you feel very comfortable. Everything that you've already said is exactly how you feel when you're in her presence. And between her and Jade, I love this other server too, Jade too. But I'm telling you, Natalia rocks. She does
Yeah.
a great job, and she's very talented too. So I'm hoping to have her on the show one day too, because she has some artwork that I would like for you guys to.
Yeah, she's a really good artist, or painter. It's acrylic painting and textured art, and so the this art is it's pretty mind blowing. It's really she's very creative. That's the thing. It's I she comes up with these different designs, and again, it's acrylic pouring that she does, and so it comes out. When she's done, I just look at it and just think, wow, another amazing piece of art. The only thing is that she doesn't really market it, and so I have to get in there and help her some more.
We're
with
gonna
her
do
on that.
this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Okay, so now we're gonna shift this entire conversation to Mark Anthony Storm here, because this young man has transitioned and pivoted in life, and I want you to hear his journey. So take us back, Mark Anthony, as far as you want to let people know who you are,
Wow.
and take us on this journey.
To go back, I mean, like, do I start at the beginning, at day one, or well, we can start at like your the thumbnail, if you want to call it that. It shows the transition from Wall Street to trucking, and so many years ago, and it's just amazing how much time goes by. But years ago, I got out the Navy, and I was looking to do something different. I did very well with the Navy. I was about to become chief, but I elected to get out. I was a first class petty officer. I was about 31 years old, and decided it was time to do something different. I just didn't want to get locked in being like every other military person that stayed too long and didn't just get out of shape and beaten down or no, because seriously, I mean, I watched it. To be in the military and see this over the years, you would understand what I'm talking about when you see so many people, they make it to the end, but it's like they're crawling out the Navy, and it's like I didn't want to be that man that crawled out the Navy and just scraping to get by. But I mean, at the same time, it's the individual, it's the person themselves, and it depends on what you see for yourself, where you potentially, want to go. If you push yourself, you keep on pushing, then you'll always, find something. You'll always be successful. So I get out, and my brother, well, actually, I see an ad in the paper for this Wall Street, position, and so I answered to it, only to find out that my brother had two friends, Dylan and Jason, that were on Wall Street working for what was it, Lexington Capital Partners back then. And,
Okay.
yeah, so my brother, puts me in touch with them, and they end up, hiring me. But it's just like, honestly, it's really like the movie Boiler Room with Vin Diesel. If you've
Yeah,
ever
it
seen it,
sounds like.
yeah, it's very much that world. It can be very much like that, and it was, in fact, the movie Boiler Room almost tells the story. So anybody here, if you're wondering what type of life was I around or experiencing, check out the movie Boiler Room, and you're going to see it was like identical. In fact, the person that was in charge of this, the president of Lexington Capital Partners, Dylan, was very much like the person, the character, and it's not Vin Diesel, but the person that was in charge of that business in the movie. They had this lightning fire, personality, and telling you, how they were here and they made it to there, and how you can make it. And psychologically, you hear something like that, and it makes you think, I can be that person too.
Right.
And in a way, even though it's motivating, but it also can be deceptive, because it's not always as easy, as it seems. But so I go from doing, the Wall Street, and then I even stepped into being real estate, going into real estate, and became a real estate broker.
Wow.
I started with Florida real estate first, went from Florida real estate to New York real estate. And I was with Laffey Associates. That's Laffey Fine Homes, and Laffey Fine Homes in Long Island. They're actually a very reputable company, I have to say. They're all brothers. They come down from their dad. Okay, their dad was, it was originally part of Century 21 Laffey, and
Okay.
then they became so powerful that they're like the number one, powerful company in Long Island. In fact, almost on the East Coast, period. And but I made friends with them, and even with the vice president to this day. And in fact, even one of the presidents, Philip Laffey, I was just talking to him about a week ago. And so I went into real estate, and one thing that I can say that I did that was an accomplishment was closing 5 homes in one day. And yeah, so 5 homes in one day, all, boom, 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 boom. And it was a pretty, nice, interesting, experience and ride. But there's always that craving to do something different. And real estate doesn't always, it's not always that great, especially when, you have the market crash, and things start to, dwindle down, and money, starts to get, a little bit, low. And so it's, you go through a little bit of, nightmares here and there, even in real estate. And some people can ride it out,
Yeah.
but you do have to, you have to do a lot of saving. You have to also, the smart thing to do in real estate is take the money that you make and put it into your business. Don't go and waste it on all the extravagant, beautiful Lexus cars and things like that. It's smarter if you get yourself a billboard sign, and you advertise yourself up, somewhere, get signs and things like that, to market yourself, and then you can, you'll start to do pretty well. I almost want to tell a story about one person. We're not going to give his name, okay?
Okay. Whatever
this,
stories you tell. I do have one quick question though.
Go ahead.
What's one of the takeaway things that you officially see? This is the biggest thing that I kind of walked away with from Wall Street. My biggest learning. What was that?
Hold on. I'm going to show you.
Okay. He's dramatic, guys, too, everybody, just so you know over there. Everybody, hey, make sure you take a moment, tag a friend, let people know that we are here and sharing today's story of a young man that transitioned from Wall Street to becoming a trucker, Mark Anthony Storm.
If you're ready, I'm going to show you what it was that I got from Wall Street. And it is also what has helped me to be, and get to where I am to this point and to stay positive. Many people that follow me on the trucking channel, on the YouTube channel, always wonder, why do I always stay, this way? Why, even through the hard times? And so the answer, and it's a plug if you want to call it that, but it's actually something everyone can learn from. And it's this book right here, The Greatest Salesman in the World.
Cool.
This is the most fascinating book I've ever read, and I want to, so it's not reflecting.
The Greatest Salesman in the World
by Og Mandino.
Yes.
Yeah, and this book, it changed everything for me, because I did have a different mentality. I was successful in the Navy, but I still had a mentality, that can, wondering, why is that person successful, or how did they get to there? And it's almost like a depression or a depressing way of thinking, when you think it's always someone else. Always someone else is doing better. How come I'm not doing better? And or placing blame, somewhere, putting the blame on other things. And it was when I read that book, I pretty much like changed overnight. I've read that book so many times. In fact, this book is on my truck because I just recently purchased it, and I gave it to my daughter-in-law, which is Natalia's oldest daughter. And I did that because I wanted to inspire in her and hopefully, ignite something, because I believe that she has, extreme potential. And the thing is, if you do give that book to someone, you're doing it because you see something in someone that you want to, just like the catalyst that helps to launch them even further. And so, so that book, after reading it, and I've read it many, many times, and once you read it, you'll understand why you would read it so many times. But so that was the one thing that I learned, that I got from Wall Street, and has carried me through every endeavor that I've taken on. After that, I've always had the mentality that's in that book.
Okay.
So
good. So you were going to share a story, and you said you weren't going to mention the person's name, but tell us that story that you were going to share.
Oh, well, this was in real estate, but it's just like, this is one way, but it was kind of a crooked way of getting to where he got. But so this one real estate agent, he worked in Mineola High School in Long Island. He worked in Mineola High School. He was an economics teacher.
Oh, then you're narrowing it down. Everybody's going to know.
Well, they already know because they fired him for it. But what happened was, because he was in real estate, he used his position as a teacher, and he told the students, and the student told me, he told the students, if you get your parents to give me their listing, I will give you an A. And he was getting listings left and right. Okay. Left and right, this guy was getting listings, and he's making at least 800 or so a year. Okay, at this point, he did very well. He was let go of his position, but it didn't matter because he already secured himself. With being known for selling homes in that area, and then it just expanded and expanded, and so. But that's it's all about marketing. I'm not going to say you want to use that technique for marketing.
And remember, everybody, the views expressed on the Kim Jacobs Show are that of of the guest that's being shared. So obviously, whatever went on there is something that
I recommend doing things, ethically right, to get to where you want to go, because something like that, it could have ended the wrong way for him, and he lost his position, and then maybe just picked up a bad name. But that's besides the point. So I went from doing the real estate, and then just trying to find my way.
Right.
I ended up moving to North Carolina. My mother lives down here. Okay. And so I moved to North Carolina and decided to try to start over. And I have to tell you, there's a humbling point where because in the Navy I was up there. Okay. I was just about to make chief, and I already had established myself. I remember, we'll step back just a little bit. I remember Senior Chief McCardle called all the first classes up to the flight deck. And he says, I want to discuss with you guys, who it is that I believe is going to make chief next. And so you got like 13 guys in there, and I'm the newest person in the group. I just checked on board the USS George Washington. So he says, well, of all you guys that of all the records that I've gone through, the service records, I've checked each one and I've gone through them, thoroughly, and one of you just happens to have, the Navy Achievement Medal, numerous accolades from commanders and admirals and captains, and so he's going on. Oh, this person also has the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, and I'm thinking that he's going to name the other gentleman next to me, that because I know that he was on recruiting duty and
Right.
had also done pretty well. And he says, and that person is Petty Officer Gonzalez, and like all the first classes look in my direction, and I'm like, oh my God, why did he do that? Like, why did he single me out as the one he feels is going to be chief next? Because you have people there that have been waiting to make chief. They've got like 18 years.
Forever, right.
Normally the 20-year mark is, where they get out or something, or like if you didn't make it by the 20-year mark, then you're kind of like stuck. And here I am with 11 years in, I think, or 10 years at that point. And I'm not saying that that's really early, but it is, it's still a good average point, to
right.
And so when he said that, it proved one thing, and that is that all those things that I did over the years that were hard, all the assignments that I took on that were difficult, that it did make a difference, because everything I took on, I did learn long ago. And this is thanks to Rocky Thompson, Commander Rocky Thompson, retired from the Navy. But he's the first black chief, first person, period, but a black chief to make chief in 7 years in the United States Navy.
Wow.
First person to do it that fast. And,
oh my gosh. Okay.
He was just, Rocky was just, he was the catalyst in the Navy that really got me going, along with a couple of other chiefs, Walter Davis. But Rocky is one person that it's just the entire Navy knows Rocky. Let's just put it that way.
Wow.
He's that powerful, and he did something for me once that I'll never forget. And but that's another story. We'll have to.
Wow, this is really good. So you've gone from being in the Navy, being Wall Street, real estate. Now you've transitioned to this whole trucking world. How has that transition been for you?
Well, so I mentioned North Carolina, and what happened is the humbling part we were about to get into is that I took on a job at Ben Minot, the Chevrolet dealership.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there on 29, I knew sales, but now I had to transition to selling cars.
Okay.
You need to know your cars, and though you might know one or two cars, or you just know cars kind of in general, but you want to know you need to know how to sell the car, but you have to know your product. And right. When you know your product, that's when you're a better salesperson. And that's what makes Natalia amazing. I can't believe that Natalia will master whatever you put in front of her.
Oh, I know.
And that's how, and she does. So she's the perfect, example of mastering something, and then you do well, at it. So anyway, so I'm here on this lot, and it was a rainy day, and I remember standing outside. I had been doing this for about 4 or 5 months now. Okay. Mm-hmm. And as I'm standing there, I felt my socks. They were wet. And I'm thinking, why is my socks wet? So I looked down at my shoes, and I lift up my shoe to see the bottom. And I've never, ever experienced this in my life. Well, I had holes in the bottom of my shoes, and I realized I reached my bottom. Never, ever had I walked around with holes in my shoes, even as a kid. And here I am standing on this lot with holes in my shoes, and I look up in the sky, and I realize, wow, this is where you are. This is where you've brought yourself, or this is what you've accomplished, all the stuff that you did, and now you have holes in your shoes. And I thought, this is not me. This is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Is failure. Failure does not course through my veins. And at that point, it's like I have to do something different. I have to push myself harder. And that's when I had turned in an application. I had been thinking about doing it because I was already in the military, but the law enforcement. So I got into law enforcement, and I went to BLET training, basic law enforcement training there in Concord, and they sponsor you, or they sponsored me, and but they sponsor you, and you take the course. It's like going to the police academy. Pretty much, that's what it is. It's a police academy. And so I did 4 months of that. I went from like 216 pounds down to 183. So that was one excellent, that was one thing I definitely, gained from that. But I went from, graduating, and it was a great feeling. From there, I went into private police department. So I went into a private police department, but it was my experience there with the private police department. I saw things were very political in that environment. Excuse me. Brought some Java just in case.
You can just enjoy your beverage. When I was looking down at, I was actually, while you're drinking, looking at these Og Mandino quotes, and it says, "Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough." That was one of his quotes.
And my favorite one, my favorite one that I remember, one more sip. I will live this day as if it is my last, and if it is not my last, I will make it my best. Or if it is my last, I will make it my best.
Yeah.
And there's also, I will persist, I will win. And there's so many of these things that you memorize over time.
Wow.
And so it was that book that, even through the law enforcement, so I got out of law enforcement because I just saw that things were a little bit too political and not being truthful and forthright. If you're going to teach me about being truthful and forthright, then at least the guy that I'm working for, the person that's in charge of that department, police department, the least he can do is be truthful and forthright with me. So I left the law enforcement, and the day that I left was the day I was on the computer, and I thought about my mom, and I think I mentioned this to you, but I thought about my mother, and my mother had a CDL license. My mother, had retired from Fort Lauderdale's, driving the city buses there, and I thought, you know what, my mom has a CDL license, and and she retired, and her life is, she's not living super rich or anything.
Right.
But she at least, she did this in the latter part of her life. This was after 40. My mom might have been like 45 or more when she picked up, her license, and probably like the same as me. And but she got her CDL license and drove for the city. She got her awards and accolades for best driver, things like that. And so I thought about my mom and how she, maybe she's set an example, a direction, that I need to go. So I ended up going online that day that I left law enforcement, and I find a place that is offering CDL, classes. But you're going to a school, and technically you will be hired, but as long as you pass and you meet their requirements.
Right.
What they do is they will hire you, but you have to pay back. That it does cost, and nothing is free, okay? But you pay back while you're working for them. So they take out a certain portion from your paycheck, and you work for them. But the thing is, you got a guaranteed job pretty much. You're working, you're making money, and the thing is that you actually make more money than you probably did before. Working regular jobs in your wherever your town or city is, many times you're really scraping just to get by. And in fact, a lot of us are probably scraping to get by, through these times with the COVID-19,
Right.
which is going to bring up a different subject. But yeah, so that's what got me into the trucking. And but I'll let you ask your next question, and because everything leads to something else. And
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And so your mom inspired you. You transitioned now from being on Wall Street, being in real estate, being in police. You've been in a lot of different fields of interest, and now it ultimately brought you here to being in the trucking industry. How is it being a trucker here, especially during this pandemic? And you're pretty much living your truck. Tell us about that. And then I also want you to show us your truck, if you don't mind.
Yeah. When you first start off in trucking, it can be a little bit of a mind bender adjusting to it, because it's really not as easy as it's easy and then not as easy as you would think. And part of the reason is that when you first start off, the hardest part of trucking is the long roads. and you're alone, you have a lot of time to think, a lot of time to think of your past, think of your present, think of your future. You also, most truck drivers will probably agree with me here, you think of your family. And sometimes that part will take its toll on you if you think too much because you worry. And if you let worry control you, then you'll falsely you'll make a decision that tells you, oh, go home and work locally, or come out of trucking and just work some regular job. But the thing for me, and it's not Natalia has a big part in it, but Alistair has he's the star of the show. He's the star of this show. I'm not with Alistair's mom, and that's, we just, sometimes relationships don't work out, but one relationship did work out 100%. And while I was in school, in trucking school, I wasn't supposed to. I wasn't expecting to ever see Alistair's mom again. Okay, and he wasn't even born yet, but
Wow.
I thought about it. How do I let a person come into the world and he doesn't know who his father is? And so I told myself, that when I go home from the training, I need to see him. I need to see him. And the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. And so I remember, I guess ringing the doorbell, and she knew that I was coming, so it wasn't just a surprise. But when Alistair was placed into my arms, I looked down at him, and I had already planned out what I was going to tell him, so nobody knew this, and nobody ever knew because it was just between me and him.
Right.
But I told Alistair, I whispered in his ears, and I told him, "You will have 100% of me forever, and I will never let anything hurt you." And I wanted that to be the first thing that he would hear, and the one thing that he would always remember, throughout his life, to know that his dad. I'm almost gonna get teary-eyed because I love him so much.
Oh my
So,
God! You know what the thing is? I mean, I think this is such a valuable life lesson that you're sharing.
Yeah. so sorry I had to do that or share that in that way, but it's just that it's because of Alistair. It's like all those years when you ask God, oh God, please, can I win the lottery? And because it's like at $100 billion or something, and like, if I win the lottery, I'm gonna give to this person, my family. I'm gonna give to the poor. I'm gonna give to this, give to that. And you think that, you say that, you hope that, and God had a different answer. God's answer was, I'm gonna give you Alistair. And honestly, it's by him putting Alistair in my life that he gave me more than all of the money in the world could ever have done for me. My mom had once asked me, and because I've dated different women, and my mom had said to me, is there any woman that has ever, is there a woman out there that filled that spot inside of you, that like all of it was just complete? I didn't know Natalia at this time, and but Alistair was already born. And so I'm thinking, and I said to my mom, well, there is one person that fills every empty part of me, and it's Alistair. Alistair, I could want for nothing more in this world, nothing. I could live with Alistair alone on a mountain somewhere and just be happy and teach him for the rest of my entire life, and I would be satisfied just to be with him. I got to live in a time of Alistair. I got to live in a life of Alistair, and that's the best. That's the best part of this life. And it's also what probably some truck drivers are wondering: how is he so happy all the time and so excited, and what is it that keeps him going? Why doesn't he just give up? You sometimes have truck drivers out there that might hate on you a little bit on my YouTube channel. It happens, but what I don't know is that I have something that no one else has, and and I shouldn't put it that way, because some people might say, well, I have my children too, and yes, you do, but you see, I see Alistair differently than I think a lot of fathers. Unfortunately, there are too many times you hear about fathers that are not there in their children's lives, and yet I feel like I'm the most blessed man on the planet, because God said, I'm going to give you the opportunity to watch over Alistair while you're alive. And it's like, wow. I mean, like it's almost like I have, like, God is with me. when Alistair is with me, it's like I feel like I'm riding along with God, and I know he's not God, but it's almost like God has taken his
It's
journey
God's gift. It's
and
God's
sitting,
gift to you.
and he sits along with me, and if you ever see Alistair's smile, one of the photos I had showed you, but it's funny because every time I take certain photos of Alistair, you see in his eyes this lit up, and you're like wondering like why does he smile like that? But I look at the photo and I'm like, he's actually looking at me with that smile, and it's that happiness in his face, and
Yeah.
it just ignites me more and more. And so whenever I even have a bad day, excuse me, whenever things are tough, because we're going to get into that with trucking and when things can go wrong completely, I can stop and think about Alistair and remind myself why I do it. And Alistair actually has a big part in what happened that was very serious. If you want to step
Yeah.
into that,
Yes.
you're ready for that.
Before we get into that, I do want people to at least see. I won't play
What's
the whole clip, but no,
uh-huh.
not the truck. I want
Okay.
people to see why you do what you do with your trucking. And I'm so honored that you're talking from this perspective, from a father perspective on balance, because a lot of my viewers, they balance different aspects of their lives. And not too many times I have a father on talking about how much he loves and adores his child. So I'm so excited that you're here sharing that perspective. Let me show you guys real quick, and I'm going to show you just a piece of it, but you'll go back and watch the whole thing so we can stay on track with the full interview here. But let's go to why Mark Anthony Storm officially does what he does. Let me see if I can get right to that page. Why Are You a Trucker is what it's called. And here's Mark Anthony's page, which Mark Anthony Storm, he has 8,779. Wow, you got a lot of subscribers. Okay, so here, we're going to just pull this up. Oh, is that an ad? Oh, of course that's
Probably.
an ad. Now the ad is running on my show. I'm not getting any credit for this. All right.
You can skip. Yeah, there you go.
Why do I do this? Why am I? It's not the appreciation that comes at the end of each delivery. It's not about a pat on the back or a job well done. It's not about getting the best driver of the world. It's not about making a lot of money or driving to all these beautiful, amazing places. No. It's something more. It's something good. It's that something that keeps us motivated, keeps us focused, keeps us driven. I believe that meeting so many of people in the world is the one thing so many of us have in common. It's why we do this. It's why we make this ultimate sacrifice. With that.
That's Alistair. That's Italian. Now let's see. That's Natalia's daughter.
She's a very good dancer. We were doing our hiking that day.
Okay. I definitely just wanted to show that briefly because
You had me in tears again.
you have us in tears because it's just such a joy to see the joy that you have and why you do what you do. My mom is on. She said, "Good morning, Kim and Mark."
Good morning, and that's Ella, Mrs. Spratley.
Yeah, she says she loves your story too. Love your story.
Thank you. I wanted to share that with the world, with truckers, because I wanted to help remind a trucker why he's doing what he's doing in case he's lost focus and he's on that road somewhere, just wondering, where's he going with this or why is he doing it? And it's just you don't look at it as I miss them. Oh, this is so hard. Look at it as I'm doing this for them, and plan what you're going to do the next time you get home.
Right.
Plan, for that as I just said, we were doing hiking. We were in some little forest, and it was actually in Charlotte, almost like in the heart of Charlotte somewhere. And I do this, with the family. We'll go up to like Grandfather Mountain,
Right.
and do these things where you're just spending family time together, and
That's so important.
And that's the important part, to have something to look forward to. So don't think of where you are at the moment on the lonely road, because it is, but think of, once I come off of this road, I'm going to go and spend that quality time, with them, and make every moment count.
I love the advice that you're giving people, because when you're traveling on the road, I'm assuming it is you're out there in the open land by yourself in the middle of this pandemic, in the middle of protesting, in the middle of everything that's happening, and you're in that truck alone,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, I
So,
am. Yeah.
Tell us, you can show us your truck if you like, or you can stay in your truck and just continue to talk. It's up to you. We have about, a few more minutes here, about 15 or so minutes, and some really great information that you're sharing. But I want to find out from you, you had a really interesting encounter with death almost.
Yes.
What was that experience like for you, and how did you pull through that?
Well, I was driving down through South Dakota, and I can't say that you're ever really prepared for something like this, because you can get caught off guard with just about anything can happen. And you'll think about it from time to time, but you're never really thinking about it's going to happen like right now.
Right.
And I was driving. I had just gotten onto 90, and I was heading east. I was in Sturgis, where they do the motorcycle rally, where they were talking about, there's a little COVID thing going on right now because they have the rally. And I was going through there and wanting to stop in the town where they do the motorcycle get together, because it's very old time cowboy and Western, that's how it looks. It really
Right.
looks that way. So I wanted to film that for one of my videos. And as I'm driving, I'm in the right lane, and the sign has already come up, Sturgis. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to exit somewhere here. And all of a sudden, my tire I just hear this explosion, like boom, and my steering wheel yanked so hard to the right, and I'm thinking, no, and I'm on an overpass, and there's a train tracks 30 feet below,
Man.
and so if I go over, I'm gonna fall to the tracks and I'll be crushed. I'm hauling 42,000 pounds of apples behind me. Okay.
Right.
So I hit the wall. I don't flip over. Instead, I guess you could say God said no, and I pull back into the driving lane. But then the steering wheel yanks again. Okay, so it was just a ricochet off. And now, because remember, it's 30 feet, down below. Well, the grass is next, but the grass is an embankment. So the truck goes right into the grass. One thing I didn't do is I didn't slam on the brakes, because if at any time that if I would have done that, the weight of the trailer behind me would have caused the truck to jackknife, and I would have met the trailer. The front of the truck would have met the trailer. And so, but luckily I didn't knee-jerk reaction. I just thought I got to keep this truck upright. And as I'm going down the embankment, I said I was going to bring up his name. I kept on saying, I got to get home to my son. I got to get home to my son. I got to get home to my son. This is what I was thinking. And I'm trying for dear life to keep this truck from flipping over, because I know how heavy I am, and I know how dangerous. I can't even see anything. I don't remember seeing. All I remember is the truck is like bouncing and lots of noise and stuff is flying. I had 50-pound weights. I had just put them up there, and I told myself, don't put that there. I had 50-pound weights. One of them landed right here. If that would have come off and hit me, it could have, taken me out alone. But everything had fallen off the shelves, and I'm going down this embankment, and I go through a fence. The fence came up. The bumper's destroyed. The fence comes up, and it shatters the window, but it didn't decapitate. It didn't cut off. It rides up, messed up the visor, takes down the pipes, slams down behind the truck, rips the pigtail away from the trailer. This is the damage this thing done, and it didn't come through the front. You understand? That's the scary part. Is God said no again.
Literally, then, God said no.
Yeah, and then I finally come to a stop, and it's the abrupt hit. You would think that the trailer would have snapped off the fifth wheel and slammed into the cab and pushed the cab off. I've seen this happen.
Of course.
Accidents on the road, you see that happen. And here I am doing all of this rough riding like a Bronco. And finally the truck comes to a stop. Someone opens the door. They're asking me if I'm okay. And I get out and I see the damage that was done. End of the story. It was a husband and wife. She blew a .5. He had a suspended license, so it doesn't matter who was driving. But what did happen is, it wasn't that I had a blown tire. They were coming from a lower elevation and merged in and didn't even think. Maybe they were arguing with each other. I know they had some pets in the car with them, and I saw how they were after. So it's possible that maybe they were in some disagreement or something, but they weren't paying attention to me being on the road, and they went right into my tire and locked my tire up. And so they actually had hit my fender and locked up my tire, and that's what caused it to pull, to the right, and that's what, almost, ended my life. It was the scariest moment I've ever, experienced, and I'm just fortunate that God, felt that it was more important, I guess, to be Alistair's dad, for now, and just it's. I don't know. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God, to have spared me, and I'm grateful that I have Alistair as something that keeps me desiring to keep going and fight, whatever it is that comes my way, so I can get back to him. Because I had just told Alistair, it's sad, not so much sad, but I was driving. I had just come off a home time, and prior to that accident, and I was on home time. I was taking Alistair home to his mom, and I like to have a little something to give him to think about. And so I told him, I said, the COVID-19, if anything ever happened to you and you got sick, if like a part of your body, needed something from my body, I just want you to know, Alistair, I will give whatever it is I have to give to keep you alive. And Alistair, hold on. Alistair says, I don't want you to die, Daddy. And that's what I was thinking. So anyway, but that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I don't mean to do
you
that.
tearing me down, Mark Anthony.
But that's what I was thinking when I went down the embankment. I was thinking, I won't be able to keep my promise. I told him I'm coming, back. I'm going to be back, and that he's not going to lose his daddy. And I just thought, what's it going to be like for him to experience, daddy's not around? So I couldn't let that happen. That's just the way it is. And as sad as it may, as sad as I may look right now, but I just have this burning desire and fire inside of me to be the best dad that I can be for him, and that's just the way it is. So
I'm
sorry I did this to you, Kim. Kim's never gonna have me on her show again. Mark tells these stories and just ruined my makeup. No, you look great though.
You got my nerves torn out over here.
I'm the one that looks foolish. Kim's gonna tell people, yeah, my makeup at least it stayed nice. Mark, look at him, he's all torn up. So, but yeah, so so the moral of the story, the bright part of the story, yeah, is that I'm still here and I have been able to get home and spend time with Alistair, and so I've just I'm blessed and fortunate, that I still have this opportunity. And I think the camera is frozen on one side. Perhaps I will take over for the rest of the show and entertain everyone. Yeah, I think there's an issue here. But yeah, so that's what happened, and I survived the accident. So I don't know if you can hear me, but we're a little bit the screen is frozen on your side, so I don't know if you'll be able to finish. And I think we're finished. Well, I'm still here, everyone. So if Kim does come back, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can carry the rest of the show. Kim was asking to possibly show the outside, of the truck so that you guys can see what it looks like. This is my new truck because the truck that I did have was destroyed, in the accident. And go ahead and see if I can carefully move this around. And I don't know if I can switch my camera. Let's see, camera. Yeah, I don't want to ruin this the video footage, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave this the way it is and take you guys outside if you're still with me. So now we have a lot of bugs out here. I think it's the June bug, but this is the new truck now, and I just put this bumper on here. I had a bumper identical to this on the other truck, but that bumper was destroyed along with the truck. So, but this is when I'm driving, and it's doing really well. You'd be surprised how many June bugs are out here. I don't know where they came from, but they are here. Now, hopefully Kim is going to come back to us if we are still live. And yeah, I don't want to steal the show. But hopefully Kim will be back. But it looks like you're in the show. Oh look, I didn't show you guys. I have a companion or someone that rides along with me. So we didn't get to introduce him, but his name is Scully Cummins, or Scully the Reaper Cummins, and he's always got a smile on his face. So that's the good thing is that as long as he's smiling, he keeps me smiling, and that means he's enjoying the ride. So, yeah, I don't know what else to really, say at this point, because I'm not sure if we are live or not. I'm not reading whether. Hold on. We're gonna see if Kim is with us, and I'm gonna give Kim a call.
No, I'm back. Something happened with my internet.
Oh, there you go.
You kept right on talking. I don't know. It just completely all blanked out. But it's all
was
good.
Was I still live?
I guess.
Because it showed that I was live, so I took the people out and showed them the truck.
Oh, good. You know exactly what to do as a YouTuber.
I was like, well, let me go ahead and continue with this because it looks like I'm still live. I'm reading the numbers; they're going up, so that means something's still moving. So I don't want to leave you guys hanging. And I was showing everybody my shifter, which is Scully. I was like, oh, let's also introduce him. He rides along with me, but he's always smiling. And so, but his name is Scully. And, a lot of people, they love Scully on my channel.
Cool.
People want to see when I do the live chats, that Scully, is next to me. And it is one of the exciting parts of driving a truck that I guess I should leave off on that. Is that when you do have a truck, if you're an owner operator or a lease purchase operator, it's fun to do things to the truck and make it more and more yours. You feel more at home, and more, a part of the truck. The truck is a part of you. And so that's what makes it just a little bit more interesting. It makes it easier, when you can personalize the truck. For example, I want you to see over here on the side of me.
Okay.
This is where I started.
Yeah, if anything happens again, just keep right on going because you're doing a great job.
I don't know if you can see that truck there.
Yes.
It says CRST.
Uh-huh.
That's the company I started with. That's funny. That's where I began my career in trucking, was with CRST. And that truck right there, it's not a special kind of truck to like do any extravagant things to. It's a very basic commercial truck, and it's not the most fun thing. You could do some things to it, like clean it. Okay, you could put a little bit of chrome on the wheels or something. But this truck itself that I showed, this is a Peterbilt 389.
Well, I've seen your truck, and it's a beauty. That's what you're.
Yeah,
you gotta.
It's a classic. It's a classic, old timers, look, and that's what makes it, fun is driving this old timer looking thing. And but I want to let everyone know really quick also on something is I was just at the Valley of Fire in Nevada, and I did some filming there. So if you guys are interested in checking out the channel, I may have this video finished today or by tomorrow. But
okay.
The Valley of Fire, I did do my droning and everything, and
type that, Shannon, the Valley of Fire on Mark Anthony Storm YouTube channel so people can check that video out, and make sure you subscribe to Mark Anthony Storm's YouTube channel. This is a whole new audience that'll be able to follow you on YouTube, even though I know you already have a great amount of followers, but your stories are very entertaining and it takes you down the road, the life of a trucker. Let me also get a studio audience question in. Sharice Proctor says, so in all your transitions, would you say that what you're doing now is completely satisfying?
It is more satisfying than the other jobs that I was doing before. There's a certain, here's another part to trucking, is that there is a freedom. Sometimes when you work at a job and it's that having someone over you, how many times have you had that where someone's standing over you and you feel like leave me alone, or just let me make my own decisions, or
right.
And here you do get to make your own decision, even as a company driver, like that guy right there with CRST. Okay, as a company driver, but they still are leaving it up to you to get there. You figure out your time, you work your hours, but you also have a control on success or failure. And if you're a person who's going to be lazy in trucking and you're going to ruin, waste your hours and not get to where you're supposed to be, it's going to hurt you, because they're not going to give you the best assignments, the best loads, because
right.
you show up late. So there's always a responsibility, and even in trucking, but in trucking, at least you have a stronger opportunity to actually make it in life. And you can really grow. You start off as a company driver, you may go to lease purchase operator, and then become your own a real full-fledged you have your own authority. So I'm a lease purchase operator, so it's like I'm leasing the truck, and so, but the thing is, I do that because any big issues or things that are out of my control, the company pretty much they carry the weight of that. But I can rely on them to always give me loads. When you're riding on your own, when you have your own authority, you got to find that load. And,
okay.
and especially in times like this, if you can't find that load, you could be that truck driver that's selling that truck and getting out of the business because you couldn't survive COVID-19.
Well, let me tell you guys a way that you can stay in the trucking business too, because today's episode sponsor is Start My Trucking Company. For the Kim Jacobs Show today, the episode sponsor is startmytruckingcompany.com, and it is a turnkey trucking in a box type of situation where you can officially start your own trucking company from scratch. The phone number is 214-699-5009. info@startmytruckingcompany.com. Start My Trucking Company, which is moving in a box. They teach you from A to Z how to develop your trucking company business plan. They give you information on how to be an international trucking consulting, and it's a lot more information that you'll be able to learn from the CEO. Now, what I recommend that you do is reach out to me. The CEO has over 30 years of experience in the trucking industry and is able to help you become an independent owner and operator of your own own trucking company. So I encourage you, if you're interested in being connected with the owner, just reach out to me, kim@thebalancedoctor.tv, and I will connect you directly with the owner. I thought, what a befitting sponsor for today.
Yeah.
StartMyTruckingCompany.com. Thank you for sponsoring today's episode. Now, a young man said, "Wow, Mark,
Troy.
yeah," he said, "you're doing big things, brother." Cool show. Definitely gonna follow.
Troy is one of my biggest followers and supporters. I'm not kidding. Troy has actually even donated, because you can actually do super chats. And it's funny, there was a time where I had this one person, Mickey FC, because I do a lot of live chats, or was doing more of them before. And so in the live chat, there's Mickey FC, he gives $100. So then Troy's like, he gives $100. So then Mickey FC gives another $100, and then Troy's like, he gives another 100. And I have to tell you, that month was a very interesting, financially good month, where it was just a competition of super chats, fighting over who's going to give more, to the channel. But one thing with YouTube is that super chats, YouTube does take 50%. I have to let you guys know that they take half of whatever it is that you're getting. So if you want to avoid that, then what you do is you can do a cash tag or Cash App. My cash tag or Cash App is Follow the Storm. It's all one word, but Follow the Storm. It's a cash tag, and that's how you can get your money. It goes to you. So you're not sharing any of it, with someone. It's money that you can even use cash tag just to send to a friend to help someone out or something. But cash tag is really, it's a free source.
Is this Cash App?
Yeah, it's the Cash App. And what they're doing is when they send you money, once they have downloaded, so it's your call sign would be, it's a $sign and then whatever your name is. Okay.
Oh
so
yeah, let me go over a couple of things real quick with you guys on that. I've learned that from Mark Anthony and different people. If you ever want to support the Kim Jacobs,
there you go. Yeah,
the S is missing, but support the Kim Jacobs show, then you definitely can use Cash App Kim Jacobs Inc. And especially your friend over there that was a big donor to the Super Chat. Troy, you can Cash App Kim Jacobs Inc. and do a bidding war with some more of your friends. Or paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. I also have what's called the Patreon page. So that's specific to my members that pay a $12 monthly fee at patreon.com/The Kim Jacobs Show. Mark Anthony's going to go backstage and we're going to do some after party comments that he didn't share on the show. So make sure that you become a Patreon member. Follow the Storm is Mark Anthony Storm's Cash App. Follow the Storm.
Yeah, it's actually all lowercase, so I don't know if that matters, but it
doesn't. You still they're gonna still get it to you. Okay. It'll still happen, but I'll put it. It's Follow the Storm, but it'll come up still, as long as that hashtag belongs to you. So let's put the lowercase, which is Follow the Storm.
Yeah.
Follow the Storm is his Cash App. Make sure you follow him on YouTube, which is Mark Anthony Storm, all one word.
And let me tell them why they would, want to follow the Storm is that it's my videos I make them to help support truck drivers, giving them information, my experiences, things that will help them, especially like with the video I told you about with the airline rupture, and it went viral. And in fact, it went so viral that Washington, D.C., the administration contacted me, okay, and they wanted to know about the problem with my truck. And so they watched the video, so now they wanted to know how to fix the problem. So I made a different video, but that video itself, it was called It's a Time Bomb. And that video, it has 146,000 views, pretty much. But the video was made to show, I was afraid young truck drivers, if they had this rupture, if they weren't aware to even look for this problem, if they're driving on the road, you're new, you don't know anything about trucking, and then your airline just goes, I mean, the kind of accident you would have. And that's why Washington contacted me. It's NHTSA, NHTSA. They contacted me because they were having, numerous people were having these airline rupture, brake line rupture accidents. And once you lose your brakes, you can't stop. So think about 80,000-pound missile coming at you.
Crazy. And
it's I tell you, some of the accidents that are out there, it can be a very, lucrative. You know, you can make a lot of money in trucking, but you do have to pay attention. You have to be responsible, very responsible, but also don't forget to be proud and be glad that you're able to do things you couldn't do before. You know, you may have had a hard life and always struggling, but if you come into trucking with the right mindset, you know, don't think that money's going to fall from the heavens, okay? But if you push yourself, you can do very, very, you know, well in the trucking business.
Well, you've inspired me. I'm not even interested in being a trucker, but after hearing Mark Anthony's story today on the Kim Jacobs show, I feel like you've shed some great insight. You've shown your truck. You've shared your story. It's so much more. You've shared about Alex Care. You've had me crying. I felt like I've been on a real ride.
Well, it was a pleasure. And God bless you, Kim, because you know, you have your children and you love your children, you know, very, very much. And so anyone here who might be wondering about her, she does, you know, she loves her children. She's a big inspiration and motivator, and her children are lucky to have a mom like her.
It's my honor to be their mom, and like I feel the exact same way you do. That's a gift from God given directly to me. And I'm assigned over their lives for the duration that they're here on this earth. And it's an honor and a privilege. I don't take it for granted or lightly. I thank God that you allowed 5 people to come from my body. That's unbelievable to me. That's just unbelievable. So, hey, everyone, make sure you know we're getting ready to close today's episode, but make sure you go to Quest Church Prayer Line. Usually in the first 10 or so minutes, Pastor Jacobs does the statistics of what's happening with COVID-19. He goes over some of the protests and different things that's happening around the country. But know that you can call into the prayer line. They'll be on from now until 12:30. So we'll be on because I'll be on there as well. But it's 978-990-5000 and 322-083#. That's Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. So you can go ahead and hop on that prayer line. And please make sure you subscribe to Mark Anthony Storm. Let me put that one more time. Yeah. Mark Anthony Storm on YouTube. And if you want a Cash App, make sure you Cash App at Follow the Storm. And I already told you guys, please support the Kim Jacobs Show. You can Cash App Kim Jacobs Inc. And
support Kim.
and make sure you subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, tomorrow I have this guy that is this boxer that's coming on. I'm not going to give any details until closer to when I send out the flyer.
Mike Tyson?
Yeah, not Mike Tyson, but he's strong. He's strong, and he is definitely going to be on tomorrow. Type his information, Shannon, right quick. I will go ahead and reveal it. And he'll be on tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. I'm excited to have him on, and we're going to learn how to knock out the competition on the Kim Jacobs Show tomorrow at 11 a.m. Any closing? Before we get a closing comment, Shannon. Oh, here. Okay. His name is Alonzo Big Zo. You know how they give the intro. Tomorrow is Alonzo Big Zo Butler is going to be on the Kim Jacobs Show. So I know that I'm touching some aspect of all of your lives, whether it's from boxing to trucking to you name it. Real, relevant, and relatable content's happening here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So go ahead and subscribe. Mark Anthony Storm, take us out and say whatever your closing comments are.
Well, thank you for having me, on the show. But for those of you that are looking to come into trucking and to become a truck driver, just don't let yourself be discouraged or distracted of listening to negative talk, and that's with anything that you're doing in life. Stay focused on whatever your mission is, and hopefully you have something that gives you that ignites you to be more than what you are. You don't need to win the lottery. You just have to believe in yourself and push yourself and just never ever give up. Just keep on going no matter what the odds. Just keep on trying, and eventually you're going to get to where you need to be. But you got to stay in the fight, and that's it.
Wow. Stay in the fight, everybody.